of Summer of Stylite. I hope everybody's doing good, staying cool, and still enjoying the summer as we get into the dog days of summer. So this episode is actually going to be all about spooky songs. There's a book my nephews used to love called Creepy Carrots. That's what I just thought of when I said that. Anyway, so this is about a song called Only God Knows, which sounds kind of religious, but it's really more about somebody who is haunted. And basically the narrator of this song, you know, the person talking is basically explaining how it's just a constant, you know, as soon as they go to bed, as soon as night falls, as soon as they close their eyes, they're just kind of attacked on all sides, or all their senses are assaulted with things from the supernatural. So that's kind of the idea of this. And basically, how do I explain it? So I've always had kind of this fascination with the paranormal and like spooky ghost stories. I've never really had a paranormal experience, but I've had like weird shit happen to me, but never anything that was like, oh my god, I never saw like full-bodied apparition. But I've always been fascinated by the paranormal, so I'll like go on Reddit, No Sleep, which is, you know, a bunch of writers that tell crazy, spooky, scary stories. Jim Harold's Campfire podcast, that's another great one where people called in with all their ghost stories. And what's so interesting to me is like, it's kind of like the turn of the century from the 1800s to the 1900s, and it feels like it's happening a little bit now. Like the more we get into technology and AI and scientific breakthroughs and things being, you know, we know so much, there's yet more and more kind of fascination and interest in the paranormal, the unexplained. Netflix just launched, you know, Unsolved Mysteries, which of course I'm binge watching. But yeah, just that idea of like people love mystery and ghost stories. And again, this is kind of different from like the horror genre, which is, you know, well, horror genre can obviously include the paranormal, but it's also like, you know, people getting their arms hacked off, and I'm not really into that. I'm not really good with gore. So me, it's more about when things are left up to the imagination, what can kind of take over and just be really spooky and scary. And sometimes again, our head can create, I mean, that's for me is like when stories or movies are really good. It's like when the head can create so much more terror than anything you could actually see or hear that could be created. Like when you see a monster versus what you think you see in your head. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm babbling. Anyway, so this song, I kind of want to make it this really atmospheric, spooky, like, you know, there's kind of this, I want to have like different noises and sound effects that kind of permeate throughout the song so that you're not quite sure what you're hearing. Logic is really cool because it has sound effects, but it can also, it has all this ability to make really kind of spooky, scary sounds or voices. And believe me, when I was making this, there was some points when I was like literally like taking off the headphones and I was like, did I just hear that, or was that like, did that really happen, or did I just hear it in the headphones? You know, like your mind starts playing tricks on you. So anyway, I'm going to play you a couple of the creative spooky noises I found or came up with. So the other thing I want to kind of have in this is, again, so the song is almost like cinematic, atmospheric. You know, I want to create a mood. I want to create like a So everything, the sound, the song, the music, the notes, the lyrics, everything kind of ties in. And then I was thinking for the bridge of the song, you know how in Thriller, which again is like the ultimate like awesome Halloween song, because you have Vincent Price, who's like a master of horror, and he does that whole sort of speech, soliloquy, monologue in the middle of Thriller, and you're really fucking scared because he's so good at it. So I was just trying to recreate like kind of this idea of somebody trying to explain how to somebody who clearly doesn't believe them. I mean, I think that's such a horror. It's kind of like, remember in The Sixth Sense, the little boy could see dead people. Like, nobody believed him, nobody understood that, nobody could wrap their head around. And so that's such a lonely kind of terror, you know, that you're alone and you're not only being, you know, haunted, stalked, attacked by these like, you know, paranormal, supernatural forces, you have no one in the living world that can support you, much less believe you. So that was kind of the idea, like, of creating this sort of interlude in the bridge. So I'm gonna let you hear that. There's such a fine line between like creating something that's good and then just being like, oh shit, I've just crossed the line into like total cheese. So I'm hoping, I'm gonna obviously keep working at it, but yeah, that's, and please let me know if you're like, oh my god, this is super cheesy, because, you know, I'm creating it and I'm just sort of in the shit, in the thick of it, and sometimes I can't tell. But that's something that, again, you don't want to make it like too melodramatic or too over the top, because then that's when you fall into like cheesiness, and that's going to be something that takes you out of the song, you know. So just to put that, you don't want something that's going to take you completely out of it as a distraction. So this is not the first scary thing I've attempted to create. I don't know if some of you may have seen a video that I made at Halloween, a couple Halloweens ago, for the song Dead to You that I did with Sound Control. And, you know, obviously Dead to You, it's a spooky title. And I went with my boyfriend and we filmed in the park at night. I filmed here at night. And I was, again, trying to create this really spooky, scary, and it's like totally cheese-tastic. I still have it on YouTube. If you want to check it out, you are more than welcome. And I'm just sort of like, I'm gonna keep it up because it's like, yeah, it's super cheesy and it's mine, and I'm just gonna sort of like own it, and it'll be something fun to look back on and be like, yeah, that's right, I did that. That's how cheesy I am. But, you know, I'm proud of the effort and like, you gotta start somewhere. So again, I think this song is gonna be emblematic of that, of just, again, trying to sort of create something that could be really scary. It's a really simple song. It's sort of like the same verse and chorus, and that's actually intentional. I don't want to make it too different because I don't, it's not a jam. I mean, I guess it could be a jam, but it's more about like setting the mood or setting the tone, and not, yeah, it's like I just sort of want it to be this sort of like almost ambient thing that's happening. I think I'm gonna make the vocals even more whispery, just to sort of, again, kind of like make you kind of strain to listen a little bit. What is she saying? Like, what is that? Because again, I think that's when we're concentrating on something, that's when our attention is like in it, and that's when we're more likely to get like freaked out or spooked. So anyway, that's the kind of the purpose of this song. Work in progress, so I'm gonna let you hear the verse chorus.
Spiders from the wall, they crawling, and
thank you again for joining me for another episode of Summer of Stylite and the dog days of summer. I don't know why I keep saying that. Anyway, take care. Have a wonderful week. I'm thinking of you and sending you lots of love. Mwah. See you next time on Summer of Stylite. And then I kiss. Mwah.